Assalamu alaikum. This podcast has been brought to you by Seekers Guidance, the global Islamic seminary. Help us spread the light of prophetic guidance to millions around the world by becoming a monthly supporter. Make a small donation at seekersguidance.org/donate. As little as $10 a month can help people find life-changing guidance.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.
The next question is, can Muslims name their children two different Muslim names?
Can Muslims name their children two different Muslim names? Yes. One can have composite names, and this was a tradition in many countries that, for example, they would give, for example, someone would become Muhammad Umar, for example. And that's fine. It's also an established practice that people would be known by more than one name. And there's a case for many of the Sahaba who were known by more than one name, which is one of the reasons that there's a number of companions who it's differed upon what was their actual name. And from that, the Arabs had a habit as well of having they had a name for someone, and they also had a descriptor for someone. So one of the great-grandfathers of the Prophet ﷺ was Hashim, and he was also known as Amr. Right? He had two names, and this is a very common matter. So there's no harm in that. And one practical use of that is if someone becomes Muslim and they want to have a Muslim name, you don't have to just substitute your name. So someone's name, for example, was John. They want to be known as Yahya. That's fine. You don't firstly have to change your name. Someone wants to adopt a Muslim name as well, because a name identifies one. It sends a signal that I'm part of this community too. That's good. But with that, if one doesn't have to give up one's non-Muslim name. So it can be sometimes a shock to parents. Say, no, don't call me John, call me Yahya. You can be Yahya and John, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right? And likewise, in some cultures, they had a name within the family. Right? And some places it would be informal. So someone's name was, like you have a diminutive. Like in a girl's name may be Yasmin, people call her Mimi in the house. But then it's fine if one gives more than one. The person's name is some long name, right? Ghazanfar. And at home they call him whatever, right? They call him Ali. Right? That's fine. There's no problem with that. Right? There's a lot of leeway. Right? Go ahead.
My question is, does that apply for middle names also?
Does that apply for middle names? Yeah. So this idea of a middle name, Islamically, the issue is that one cannot deny one's lineage. So I am Faraz, my father is Farid, so I'm Faraz, the son of Farid Rabbani. Right? But for me to deny that I am my father's son, that's a problem. But if one adopts a middle name that is not one's father's name, and one wants to call Faraz Sultan Rabbani, that Sultan's my father's name, just a middle name, that's fine. There's no issue with that. As long as, of course, it's not against the law. In some Muslim countries, they made laws that your middle name has to be your father's name. That's fine. But that's because of identification purposes and so on. So there's a lot of leeway in that. The problem Islamically is you cannot deny your lineage. Similarly, the question that gets asked, can a woman change her last name to her husband's name? And again, what is prohibited is to deny one's lineage, that I am the daughter of so-and-so. But beyond that, if one chooses to change one's name, it's one's personal choice. Sometimes it's practical. If traveling, sometimes traveling overseas, particularly in some Muslim countries, etc., they can, you go to book a hotel, sometimes it can be difficult. Your name is this, her name is that. Who are you guys? But it's not a condition, right? And it's not something that a husband can demand of his wife that she change her last name. It's her choice. If she wishes to, she can. If she doesn't want to, this is not something that should be demanded of her, but it's also not wrong. It's also not wrong. There's a lot of leeway in it.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
Thank you for listening. This podcast was brought to you by Seekers Guidance, the Global Islamic Seminary. Visit SeekersGuidance.org to access reliable Islamic knowledge taught by qualified teachers. We offer a wide range of courses, podcasts, articles, and a world-class answer service. Support us in spreading free, reliable Islamic knowledge to millions around the world by becoming a monthly supporter. Visit SeekersGuidance.org/donate and make a small monthly commitment today. Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever guides someone to goodness will have a similar reward." So don't forget to share this podcast and spread prophetic guidance.